Zero and the Search for Effective Zen. Episode 11. What is the path to the realization of infinite mind? What if you've been wrong about Buddhism? Or at least if you've always thought that Buddhism is simply enlightenment. See, while the goal of Buddhism may be enlightenment, the fact is that the Buddha didn't just wake up one day and go, "Oh wow, I get it now." Nope. His path to awakening was a lot of work, a lot of trial and error, dead ends and blind alleys, but one that ultimately followed a unique sequence. One that any path claiming to lead to realization must also follow. And guess what? It's probably not what you think. The path is not like an output of Google Maps. It's not a checklist, and it's definitely not something you can just wander through. Instead, as the Buddha's laid out in his first discourse, setting in motion the wheel of the Dharma, it's more like a treasure hunt. And it all begins with the experience of equanimity, which then leads to direct knowledge, which then leads to self-awakening, which finally leads to unbinding, where each step in the sequence builds on the last, inevitably turning vague feelings and ideas into deep, transformative knowledge. Here's how it works. You start with an experience or recollection of stillness, perhaps a memory of a time when everything just clicked. And along with the experience or memory comes the instinct to explain it. First the questions. What just happened? Was it something I did? Then the guesses. Think of them as promising but untested theories. Then those original notions evolve into knowledge, direct knowledge. Explanations supported by evidence and experience. But there's a catch. Not all knowledge is created equal. That is, knowing that you can wiggle your ears doesn't mean that you can. Only when you can consistently assert what you understand in the abstract does knowledge start to become purified, fully integrated into your being, shaping how you see and engage with the world. It's called self-awakening. And yet, there is still one more piece to the puzzle: unbinding. And as we've already said, the whole process is much like a treasure hunt, where every answer leads to the next question, forcing you to actively engage, test, and refine your understanding. So what does this all mean for you? Simple. If your current path isn't a lot of work, if it isn't dispelling most of the notions that arise, if it isn't pushing you toward a more simplified, more elegant, more purified understanding of who you are, if it's all theory, all feel-good ideas with no testing and no transformation, then it's not Buddhism. And if it's not Buddhism, then it's not Zen. And if you're wondering what should come next, it's the experience of equanimity, which then leads to direct knowledge, which then leads to self-awakening, which finally leads to unbinding. Let the treasure hunt begin. And so, for the next episode, the question: what do we make of equanimity, direct knowledge, self-awakening and unbinding?